О, приветствую вас, Hello, my dear friends. Switching between languages sometimes is skipping my mind. So today is Thursday, and we're going to spend about 30 to 45 minutes together, guys. And today I want to cover a very important topic. And guys, we never not cover unimportant topics, always important ones. And today I want to touch on the recent changes in the Trump administrations towards Harvard University. And I know some of you may say, Stanislav, who cares about Harvard and the policies and whatever's happening? I have no part in this, but guys, trust me, this has a long-term effect on all of us, especially those of you who are still on F1 visas, on OPT, or even STEM OPT. Okay, so that's why it's important to cover this and see what effect will it have on the future of immigration field and Trump administration. So let's begin from what actually happened. If you guys didn't know that the US universities ability to accept the foreign students is not the right, it's the privilege given to them by the US government. So as much as this privilege is easily granted to them, it can be withdrawn by the US government as well. What it practically means? That means that the US government, the current administration, can easily withdraw that privilege from any US educational institution without any reason. The issue here, and that's a very deep legal question. Yes, they can withdraw for no reason or for a good reason. Can they withdraw for a bad reason? And this is a really good legal question to which I'm not going to answer today because I have no qualification. It takes a lot to answer to this question. And that's what we will see in the near future. The battle in the court, whether it was done properly or not. And if you didn't get my explanation on that, let me give you another example. The employment relationship between a person and a company in the US is at will. What does it mean? Unless it's not, okay? Unless it's not, because there might be contract. But in general, it's at will. That means that the employer can fire the employee for no reason and for a good reason. But the employer cannot fire employee for a bad reason. What's a bad reason? A bad reason is, for example, the color of the skin, the age of the employee, or, for example, the way of employee. Employee is fat. Let's fire her. You can fire for no reason at all. I don't want you to work here anymore. That's good. No problem. I'm gonna fire you because you were late 5 times in a row. But I cannot fire you because you are fat. Okay? So same concept with Harvard. And we don't know, only the court, the federal court, will be able to tell us whether that privilege can be withdrawn for a bad reason. And whether that bad reason was a bad reason. Or let me tell you differently, whether that reason was a bad reason. And whether that bad reason could be used to withdraw the privilege to take the foreign students. Let's go deeper in that, guys. Let's go down the rabbit hole. But before we proceed, please, guys, get the free evaluation right now. Talent visas, business visas, national interest waiver visa. The link is in the comment section to the questionnaire that you need to answer in detail and submit it to me, especially if you are F1, OPT or STEM OPT, because you guys in the danger zone. So you need to know what kind of potential you have in your cases. Now, what actually happened? So, starting May 27, 2025, the US government withdrew the privilege of Harvard University to continue providing education to foreign students on F, M, and J visas. What does it mean for those people? That means that they need to swiftly change the university unless something fast happens in the federal court, which I wouldn't risk. What actually is Trump administration trying to achieve with this move? They want to make Harvard to kinda go with the policies that the Trump administration is trying to impose on those universities. And in this particular case, Harvard refused to give the personal information of those students participating in the those gatherings with pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, pro-Palestine gatherings. And I don't know who's right or wrong. I'm the messenger. So the Trump administration wants the information on those, and they want Harvard to change its policies to remove, and they say, anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic agenda from the campus. And guys, nobody knows who's right, who's wrong. And we don't really care who is right or wrong. What we do care is what effect it has on us, on you and me. Now, how many people this decision is going to impact? So guys, right now, think of it. There are 6,800 foreign students in the Harvard University. That's about 27% of the entire Harvard population. And this is huge because foreign students pay for their education and they pay the higher price. So not only this is the critical change in the Harvard's policies and approach and the process, but also it's a financial question because Harvard will lose a lot of money. Okay? Now, all those students face potential deportation or the loss of status. And of course, we don't want that to happen. Why is this important for us? Because if you are in that category of people, you are not safe, you are not protected, because any university may fall within the category of schools who may be affected by similar policies. What should you do, guys? Well, first of all, don't stress out. There are ways to get those things resolved. First of all, explore swiftly other institutions. Okay? Second, make sure you guys have zero violations of the US laws, be that administrative laws, criminal laws, immigration, any kind of laws. Don't forget to change your address within the first 10 days after you moved. And guys, you won't believe, I've seen cases where people were deported for they forgetting to do the simple thing to change the address. This is insane, I know, but that's what we're facing right now. So we have to work with this information. Further, please consult an immigration attorney and know all the ways that are available to you to switch from your current status to a different one. And I submit to you that with me, you can get a free evaluation. The link is in the comment section. You don't have to pay anything. Just give me the answers to the questions. I'll get back to you in 2 days and I'll break down your personal situation to the T, and you will know if you have potential in your case to switch from your current status to a different one. For example, O1, a very popular solution to this problem. And also, last but not least, look for the potential employers and internships that involve working for someone. That's gonna help us a lot if we want to move with one of the solutions that we'll find for you. So those things are very important. So find the backup institutions. Don't violate any laws. Don't forget to change your address when you do this. Very popular mistake. Consult the immigration attorney. Get the free evaluation and find the employers and internships. Okay? So those things are the must. If you are in this situation, and I understand you guys must be scared, and this is normal because that may really affect your lives. Now, let me forecast how this is going to be resolved. And I see three main options how this is going to happen. Option number one, Harvard is gonna bow to these demands. They're gonna give the information. They're gonna change the policies, and things gonna come down, and since then go normal. That's number one. Number two, they gonna fight nail and tooth in the courts. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen, because now the fight is not Harvard versus Trump. The fight is all educational institutions versus Trump. So they may find a lot of backup support from other big and famous schools, and even the rest of them who may be on the list to be next. Or number three, they will come up with some kind of middle way solution to this problem. You know, what could it be? What could be the settlement of this? I think it's easy, guys. The Harvard University and everybody else do not expose those students that participated in those events, in those gatherings, but they prohibit the future ones. Okay? So that's the middle way. It's in the middle. This is like the Caesar decision, Caesar resolution, right? Not gonna hurt the people who participated, but not gonna happen again. All right? So these are the three main ways I foresee this could happen, of course, and anything else. I do believe that they will reach a settlement, something close to the third option in this case, and that would be the end of story. Why I think that? Well, because Trump is experienced negotiator, and he actually wants the middle ground. But to get to the middle ground, you need to start from somewhere apart, far away from it, to move toward each other and find something reasonable that, of course, not going to be a win for no one, but also not going to be a loss for anyone. So that's the resolution I see in this particular case. So follow me for more information on that. We're gonna keep you updated. And guys, let me know, do you have any questions regarding this issue? Let me know. I'll give you 20-30 seconds because I know there is a gap, there's a delay of the stream. I have one more thing to say on my favorite subject. So let me know if you have any question on this, or if you have any other questions. I'll give you 20 seconds on that. All right, no questions. So I guess I was so good that I broke everything down to the cosmic dust, and you guys understand everything. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin. And you guys know me. That's my favorite subject. After immigration laws, much more exciting and much more interesting. If you follow this topic, you must have heard a famous Bitcoin Pizza Day. And let me explain for those of you who don't know, why is this so important And I know many people don't give this the meaning it demands. Guys, this Bitcoin Pizza Day is one of the most important dates in the Bitcoin history, and I will explain why. I believe it was 2011 in May when two pizzas were sold for 10,000 Bitcoin. 10,000 Bitcoin. Guys, by today's prices, this is over $1 billion. So two pizzas were paid for by $1 billion in today's denomination. And guys, believe me, trust me, in many, many years, that number is gonna grow to the astronomical, maybe trillions of dollars. Why did this happen and why is this important? This happened because the guy who was willing to pay Bitcoin for that pizza, he had 80,000 Bitcoin in 2011. Guys, guess how much Bitcoin he has now from those 80,000? Zero. No problem, right? Why did he do that? Because Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor, the one who discovered the digital scarcity of Bitcoin, the most important discovery in financial and monetary history of our humanity, told this guy, you need to get rid of your Bitcoins. Why? Because Satoshi wanted decentralization, more distribution of Bitcoin. And the guy agreed because back then, guys, 2011, it still was a game, kind of a game. Nobody really took it serious. There's some computers, Bitcoins, haha, I have 10,000, how many you have? I have 50,000. Oh, 50,000, I have 80,000 Bitcoin. Oh, you're doing good, ha ha ha, he he he, ho ho ho. Now, those numbers are astronomical, but the guy agreed to distribute the Bitcoins. And he went on the forum and he said, guys, I will buy 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. And there was one guy in California who said, I would do this. Send me that 10,000 Bitcoin and I will buy you 2 pizzas. And they did the transaction. And guys, this was the first known transactions when someone was willing to accept Bitcoin to give something of value for this. And this is very important because where there is the one, there is the second, and the third, and the fourth, and so on. So that brought the real life to Bitcoin network because there were 2 people who agreed to transact in Bitcoin. And that spark set a huge fire, which we are facing up till now, up till today. Not too many people know that actually there were more transactions. It wasn't one transaction, 10,000 Bitcoin for two pizzas. I believe there were at least three, maybe up to five. Okay? So that's how it all started. That's why this day is celebrated. That's why it's, I would say, second important day after the start of the Bitcoin network on January 3rd, 2009. That date in May is the second important date in Bitcoin history. And now this power is unstoppable. All right, that was good. That was good, guys. Good stuff, good stuff. Let me see what Gabriela has to say. Of course, Gabriela was laughing at the fact that it's $1 billion as of today for those two pizzas back in 2011. But Gabriela, wait another 10 years and you will be laughing. You will be crying, not laughing. Doesn't inflation catch up to the increase in Bitcoin value? Yes, inflation plays a huge role in increase of Bitcoin value because, guys, think of Bitcoin. Just imagine you are in a digital space. You in Matrix. And in that digital space, there is a cube, 276 by 276 by 276, right? So a cube with the edge of 276 smaller cubes. And that's approximately, if you multiply 276 by 276 by 276 is about 21 million. That's the number of all Bitcoin ever be in existence. As of today, we have about 20 million Bitcoin mined at this point, and we have only 1 million Bitcoin to be mined for the next about 122 years. 122 years for the rest of 1 million Bitcoin to be mined. So imagine you buying this, when you buy Bitcoins or Satoshis, because one Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis, right? One Bitcoin is not reachable for many, for the most, but Satoshi could be bought by anyone. So imagine you are reserving the space in that cube that will never change. It will always be forever, for as long as the humanity is here. That cube is there. So by buying Satoshis or Bitcoin, you're reserving your space in that cube forever. And proportionally, it will never change because there's only 21 million Bitcoin possible. And because our financial system in the world, our economy is based on printing money, and it will never change. We will always print more money. All that money is going to be sucked in that cube and stay there forever. So yes, inflation contributes to the value of Bitcoin because 1 Bitcoin today equals 1 Bitcoin tomorrow. But $1 today is 0.9999998 tomorrow. It loses the value every day. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right. So I hope you guys reserve your space in that cybercube, in a cyberspace, because if you don't, you're gonna miss out. Guys, get that free evaluation right out of the way. because it's important to know the potential of your case. Send me those questionnaires. Let me look at them. I will get back to you within 2 days. Look for the word potential. I'll see you next Thursday. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.